Hey guys, this is the Brick Wall, and I just want to say, it's alive! Our channel is back, it's alive, it's still kicking. It's like a zombie, man, it just doesn't want to fucking die. But anyways, before we get into the video that I have for you today, I want to thank everybody for sticking around during like the 3 months of dormancy there where nothing was posted. I understand most of you probably just forgot that you were subscribed to the channel and just haven't unsubscribed, but that's fine. You're still here, you still count. It's great. Without further ado, though, let's get into the video I have for you today about the Predator Vision banana-seeking smoke monster that is Glaz. Alright, so as you guys may know, the Velvet Shell mid-season reinforcements gave Glaz this new thermal scope for his flip sight that allows him to see through smoke. And the first thing that I heard from the community when this first came out was that, like, oh my god, bro, Glaz is, like, super OP now. He has, like, Predator Vision and he sees bananas. So I'm like, well, I want to go see some bananas. Let's go shoot some bananas. So I decided to play as Glaz and just, you know, make my own judgment on how OP or not OP he was. Now, interestingly enough, what I found out from this is that actually I just really suck, and my accuracy is potato, so my clips aren't going to be the greatest. I didn't get any, like, you know, 5Ks or 4Ks on them. But I've also watched things like the Pro League and high-level players on PC when they stream, so I have a feel for how he plays, even though I can't replicate it. And so in the Pro League, he is nuts. Great example is the clubhouse basement, like, attack and defense in Pro League is pretty much completely decided by if Glaz manages to make his way into the dirt tunnel. It's like, if Glaz gets into that dirt tunnel, the attackers are going to win that round. It's almost a guarantee at that point because he just locks down the entire objective, he throws smokes in, and nobody can see him. And so I decided to make this video kind of talking about what we could do, or what Ubisoft could do specifically, to, like, balance out Glaz without completely eviscerating him or just rolling back the patch. Because, like, a lot of people have suggested, hey, just roll back the thermal sight patch. It fixes everything. But I'm like, but their logic for adding the thermal sight was rather sound, and it was that Glaz didn't do anything special. He was basically a glorified DMR operator, so he was basically Twitch, but he had a slightly different scope. And so it was like, they wanted to add something, a unique gadget to Glaz that made him unique, that made him a little more special than, say, you know, just your average DMR operator. So they decided on thermal sight, not to mention thermal sight was something that was, you know, talked about in the community for a while. I think I remember back to Season 3, people were talking about thermal sights in this game, and so they finally added it. So I don't want to see that go away, but I also feel like he's a little too good in his current iteration. A prime example was I was defending the snowmobile garage on Chalet, and, you know, it was secure area. The enemy team busted open the garage, which was reinforced, but they still, you know, they got through it, and they pushed us into the connector room that's, like, right adjacent to that objective. And they, you know, they threw smokes in, and they had a Glaz, and we knew the Glaz was there, and there were 3 of us in the connector room. But we couldn't push out, we couldn't do anything, because we know Glaz is watching that door, and the minute we poke our heads out, we're dead, because we can't see him, but he can see us. In some regards, it was almost worse than when Blackbeard first came out in this game, because it's like, we can't peek him. We literally can't. Our best recourse is just to go the other way and save the op, basically. And so I feel like he needs a better counter than client-side smoke, as you're seeing right now, which is why we're going into this right now. So, probably one of the better suggestions. Now, bear in mind, I'm not saying any one of these or any combinations of these would be the fix. I'm just merely speculating some ideas that people could piggyback off of, or, you know, what have you. So, first idea would be to take away his smoke grenades so that he can't smoke out an objective himself, and instead he has to rely on his teammates to do it. It would add a little bit to the tacticalness of the game, so he has to actually, like, do it himself instead of, like, he can't do it. Wow. He cannot do it himself. Someone else has to help him. Another option, you're going to see it right here, is that Smoke, the operator, should put down smoke that he cannot see through. It seems to me that a defensive asset should not become an offensive asset, because now the only person who can see through smoke grenades is Glaz. And I feel like that's not how it should be. Not to mention, by doing this, that would be a good balance change for Pro League, especially because I know the smoke pick rate is like nearly 100% in Pro League. And so it's like having smoke, especially they use him a lot in that dirt tunnel on Clubhouse, where it's like that would be a good counter for Glaz because he can't shoot through it, so he has to either wait or push through it and take damage, or just go a different way. Either way, you could potentially counter Glaz and deny him that tunnel, which would be a good change. The other thing they could do is that there was a patch before the mid-season reinforcement that doubled his rate of fire from like 110 to like 220. And what they could do is that they could revert this patch instead, and so make it so he has to line up his shots a little better and not just spray through a wall like this. He can line up his shots a little better, and he has to play more of a sniper role where he has to make his shots count. And if we want to take this to the logical extreme, you can make his rifle bolt action. So now he has to really make sure his shots are on point because he has that rechamber animation. And doesn't have to be like, you know, a Battlefield animation where he actually has to like unscope and go. But like, you know, just to slow down that fire rate, slow down that DPS, so that he is forced to be more precise with his shooting. And you know, there's some other weird kind of things you could do. You could do something with like laser sights, where it's like, you know, laser sights blind his thermal scope, or I don't know, maybe friendly fire from Thatcher, where it's like if Thatcher's EMP grenades go off near him, it disables his scope. And those are even more minor changes, I feel like, than what I'm suggesting, which are still rather minor. And I would really, really like to see some ideas in the comments, because that's all I've come up with so far, but, you know, maybe somebody's got a really, really cool idea that would be a great change. So by all means, if you have something, let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear it, I'd like to see it, and bear in mind that Ubisoft might end up seeing this video too, so it'd be a good way to express your opinions there too. I mean, they probably won't, but they might. They might take a look at it. In either case, that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to let the rest of the clips roll for you. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. I mean, this video did take me about 2 weeks worth of gameplay capture and, you know, a few hours the day I was putting it all together to make the thumbnails. So I would definitely appreciate some likes on here. I really want to hear from you guys in the comments. And as always, more subscribers is always a good thing. So, you know, if you have the time, drop one of those. Other than that, though, I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.